The learning outcomes of this lesson: student explains the location of India, differentiates the Greenwich Mean Time and Indian Standard Time, locates the important latitudes and longitudes passing through our country, explains the formation of Himalayas, locate the relief features of India and map, differentiates the Himalayan ranges, explains the importance of the Himalayas. Latitudes and longitudes are used to accurately identify the location of an area. As you have studied in the earlier classes, grid is formed with the help of the latitudes and longitudes. In the same manner, with the help of the grid, India is in the northern hemisphere. See the globe. India is located in the northern hemisphere, which is towards the north side of the equator. You see the position of our country. From the equator, it is towards north side. Country locates in the southern part of Asian continent. Means when we have taken our continent, Asian continent, our country is located towards the southern part. Watch this one. See this map. This is the Asian continent, and our country, which is towards the southern side it is. Have you observed, children? This is our country, which is located towards the southern part of the Asian continent. When we see about the main latitudes and longitudes of our country, Indian mainland lies between 8 degree 4 minutes of the northern latitude to 37 degree 6 minutes of the north latitude it is there. Here see this map, whereas India is located 8 degree 4 minutes towards the southern part, the mainland this one, and to the top if you see it is at 37 degrees 8 minutes of the northern one up to the Jammu and Kashmir. It extends from 68 degrees 7 minutes of the east longitude to 97 degrees 25 minutes of the eastern longitudes. Observe this one. Towards the east side and the west side, means from the Gujarat and up to the Arunachal Pradesh. The main longitudes we can see here. This is the map, the grid map of India. Observe this one, how the latitudes and longitudes are passing. The main latitude, that is a Tropic of Cancer, that one it is passing through our country. It is almost from the middle of the country this latitude is passing. When we see about the distance between the eastern and western ends of India is 2,933 kilometers. You see this one. It is from the Gujarat to up to the Arunachal Pradesh. Whatever the longitudinal distance it is there. And the next, the distance between the northern and southern ends of India is 3,214 kilometers. See this map. From the almost from the Tamil Nadu to Srinagar, this is the distance what it is there. To avoid the confusion regarding the time, the central longitude for India is 82.5 eastern longitude is taken as the standard meridian, which passes near Allahabad. Indian Standard Time is 5.5 hours ahead of the Greenwich Mean Time, which is prime longitude that passes through London. Students, watch this map. From the north to south, what are with the dots, the line is there, that one it is the Indian Standard Time, 82.5 degrees longitude. Now let us see the boundaries of our country. Towards the north we have the Himalayan mountains, and towards the east we have the Bay of Bengal, and the Arabian Sea is towards the west side, and from towards the south we have the Indian Ocean. Activity. Students, we have an activity. Prepare a table of Asian countries' time and the time difference with the Indian Standard Time and Greenwich Mean Time. You mention the times of the different countries and prepare a table and compare with our country. Towards the north we have the Himalayas. This is the Himalayas and Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean. You can see all the four sides. Observe this map. Now let us see about the geological background of our country. Old landforms originated from two mainlands. The first one is, we call it as a Angara land. The other name for this one, it is a Laurasia, and the other name we call it as a Gondwana land. This is the Gondwana land part where the Indian peninsula is located. Children, observe this land. Okay. And this is Eurasia, Eurasian plate, whereas which is towards the northeastern part of our Indian peninsula. The Indian peninsula was a part of Gondwana land. Around over 200 million years ago, Gondwana land split into pieces. Like this one, in the map you can see the movement of the land towards the northeast side and collide with the Eurasian plate towards the north side and collided into the much larger Eurasian plate, which is also we called it as a Angara land. This is the Eurasian plate. In the map you can see. The present form of Himalayas is the result of this process. The breaking off from the northern corners of the peninsular plateau led to the formation of a large basin. This is the movement of the Indian peninsula.
Throughout most of geologic time, there were only two primordial continents, Laurasia in the north and Gondwana land in the south, separated by the Sea of Tethys. Gondwana land consisted of Africa, India, Australia, South America and Antarctica. About 265 million years ago, this continental togetherness began to split. For 200 million years, the Indian subcontinent advanced at a record speed of 15 millimeters per year before crashing into Eurasia. The collision forced the crust to buckle, creating the enormous crumple zone, the Himalaya. The collision is not yet over. The continuing movement of the Indian plate is putting tremendous pressure on the Asian continent. Serious consequences of these processes are the deadly earthquakes and tsunamis.
In due course of time, this basin slowly got filled with sediments deposited by the Himalayan rivers and from the north and peninsular rivers from the south side, and formed this plain which we are calling it as a northern plain, which is one of the fertile soiled one and supported very good agriculture. The peninsular plateau is one of the most ancient land blocks on the earth surface. This is the peninsular plateau. Deccan plateau is also the part of this peninsula. Let us see the relief features of Indian marshland. It is divided into the following groups. The first one, it is the Himalayas. The second one, Indo-Gangetic plain. The peninsular plateau is the third one. Fourth one, coastal plains. Fifth, the desert. And the last one, sixth one, is the island group. Examine this physical feature map of our country. If we examine the map, you can observe dark brown color, green color and yellow colors are there in this one. Observe this one. Whatever the dark color one is the mountain range. You can observe towards the north part we have the dark colors one. And then the green colored one, that one it is indicates the plains. Towards the north we have the northern plains and the coastal plains also there. And the yellow colored one which will indicates the plateau region. Now let us see about the Himalayas. The Himalayan ranges run in the west-east direction in the form of an arc with a distance of about 2400 kilometers. See this map. this is the region of the Himalayas. The Himalayas are covered towards the north part of our country, which run west-east direction. Their width ranges from 500 kilometers in the western regions to 200 kilometers in the central and the eastern regions. Means whatever the width is varied, it is different from one place to other place, but the maximum width we can see 500 kilometers and the minimum width it is 200 kilometers in the eastern regions. It is this is the width of the Himalayas. The Himalayan mountain ranges can be divided into three regions. This one, the first one we call it as a Greater Himalayas or Himadri. The second one it is a Lesser Himalayas, and the third one we call it as a Sivalik ranges. The northernmost of the range, which is known as a it is a Greater Himalaya or Himadri. This range is the most continuous range consisting of highest peak with an average elevation of 6,100 meters above the mean sea level. We can see many highest peaks are located in this region. One of the important one which belong to the India, that is a Kanchenjunga, it is there in this region, and this is the picture of the Kanchenjunga, and K2 mountain peak, the Jammu Kashmir also located in this region. Mount Everest is the highest peak, that one it is there in this region only, which belong to the Nepal country. The seasonal cycles of accumulation of ice, movement and melting of the glaciers are the source of the perennial rivers. We can see this is the glacier. Glacier means whatever the flow of the water from the ice. Ice will melt and the flow of the water will take place through this one, and later on it joined with the rivers. This is the river which flow from the Himalayas, the region of the glacier. The portion of a range found to the south of the Greater Himalayas, we call it as a Lesser Himalayas. It has the most rugged relief and highest ranges from the 3,700 meters to 4,500 meters of the height it is there. Here, whatever the yellow colored one it is there, that one it is we call it as a Lesser Himalayas. These range are composed of highly compressed rocks. We can see some of the ranges like the Purvanchal range, Mahabharata range are the important ranges where we can see the highest peaks are there in this one, and there are evergreen forests also in this region. Just see the picture of this the beautiful valley of the Purvanchal range and the Mahabharata ranges, which is also part of the Himalayas, and we can see the beautiful evergreen forest in these regions. And it consists some of the famous valleys where we can see this is the Kashmir Valley, which is known as the heaven of the earth, a beautiful tourist spot, and we can see the Kangra, which is in Himachal Pradesh, Kangra Valley. This region is well known for hill stations. The summer spots like Shimla, Mussoorie, Nainital and Ranikhet, these are the important summer spots. The hill stations are there in this region. You can see this is the Shimla Valley, a beautiful Shimla city is located in this region of Himachal Pradesh. This is the Shimla city. Mussoorie in this beautiful valley, and the Nainital Lake, an important tourist spot and the summer spot. Ranikhet. The most southern range of the Himalayas is the Sivaliks. They extended over a width of 10 to 50 kilometers. The mountain range has an average elevation of 900 to 1100 meters. This part consists of thick gravel and alluvium. The valleys lying between the lesser Himalaya and the Sivalik ranges are called as dunes. There are some important dunes are there. We can see the Patli dune, Kotli dune and the Dehradun are the important one in this one. Kotli dune, you can see the beautiful picture of the Kotli dune and the Dehradun, and then this is the Patli dune. In Arunachal Pradesh, beyond the Dihang Valley, the Himalayas take a hairpin bend to the south and act as a eastern boundary of the India and run through the northeastern states. This is the Arunachal Pradesh one. In the northeastern states, these are called as a Purvanchal, mostly composed of sedimentary sandstones. The Purvanchal is known by different names in different areas. That is Mishmi Hills in Arunachal Pradesh, Patkai Hills, Chachar Hills in Assam. You can see this one. What are the hills are located in this region? The Purvanchal Hills. Observe the map. Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Nagaland. These all the states are having these type of the hills. This is the picturesque view of Mishmi Hills, Patkai Hills, and other states we have in the Jammu Hills in Jammu and Naga Hills in Nagaland, Manipuri Hills in Manipur, Khasi Hills in Meghalaya, Mizo Hills in Mizoram are the important hills we can see in this region. Jammu Hills, Khasi. Now let's do one activity. Use your atlas and identify the important mountains in the Himalayas and make a list of that one. The important mountains, whatever it is there, just you make a sheet of that one. Now let's see about the importance of the Himalayas. The formation of Himalayas influence India's climate in various ways. It protects the northern India from the cold winds from the Central Asia during the winter season. Otherwise, India would have been a cold desert. Now you can see this is like obstruction. It is obstructing the cold winds from the Central Asia. The Himalayas are the reason for the summer rains and the monsoon type of climate in this region that are beyond the Western Ghats. In its absence, this region would have been remained drier, would have become a desert. The Himalayan rivers are a perennial flow since they are fed by the glaciers and bring a lot of silt, making these plains very fertile, which support very good agriculture. The interaction of these the three Himalayan rivers, that is Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra and their tributaries, resulted in the formation of the Great Northern Plains. This is the picture of the Great Plains which support very good agriculture. In the beginning it was a shallow basin that was gradually filled with varied alluvial soil brought by these Himalayan rivers. This is the what the agriculture land belong to that region. Now let us see about the Indo-Gangetic plain. Indo-Gangetic plain is divided into three categories. The first one, it is the western part, the second one it is a central part, and the third one it is a eastern part. The western part in the map you can see, and the central part, and this is the eastern part. It is. Now let us discuss about this one. The western part, this was formed by the Indus and its tributaries Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Sutlej. This is river Sutlej, river Jhelum. This is the map of the Indian rivers. Most of the Indus rivers basin is located in the Pakistan, leaving a small portion of Punjab Haryana plains. This is the Punjab and Haryana plains. In this region, the Doab feature is dominated the fertile land between the two rivers. This is the Doab region, means between the two rivers, whatever the place it is there, we call it as a Doab feature, and very good, it will support the agriculture because of the fertile soil. The central part, which is also known as a Ganga plain, and it extends from the Ghaggar to Teesta, mainly Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, partly in Haryana, Jharkhand and West Bengal are covered in these regions. We can see the river Ganga, Yamuna and their tributaries Son and Kosi drain this region. This is the map of the rivers. The eastern part of the plain exists mostly in the Brahmaputra valley of Assam, which was formed by the river Brahmaputra. This is the Brahmaputra region towards the northeastern part. This is the Brahmaputra valley, the village. While flowing down, the Himalayan rivers deposit gravel and pebble sediment in a narrow belt 8 to 16 kilometers width, found parallel to the foot of Sivaliks. This feature is known as a Babar, which is porous in nature. This is the Babar region where the river flow it is there. This is the Babar grassland. Small rivers and streams flow under this Babar and reappear in the lower areas and form a swampy and marshy region, which is called as a Terai. This is the Terai region, and a very good support for the mango farms here in this Terai region. Now let us see about some of the important points what we have covered. The central longitude is 82.5 degrees eastern longitude. That is 5.5 hours ahead of the Greenwich Mean Time, and the Himalayas are divided into three categories: Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Sivaliks. And the Indo-Gangetic plain consists of the western part, central part and the eastern part. Now let us see about the evolution. Do some work. Locate the following on the India map: Kangra, Kulu, Patkai, Mishmi Hills, Chachar Hills, Nainital, Purvanchal range, Mahabharat range. Locate the states of Indo-Gangetic plain on India map using the atlas. Answer this question, think and answer. Indo-Gangetic plains are densely populated. Give reasons for this one. For the better understanding of concepts, solve the worksheets. Please visit official website of SIET for worksheets, solve it and submit to your teacher. Thank you.
అందరికీ వందనాలు. మనం ఈరోజు దానశీలం అనే పాఠ్యభాగాన్ని నేర్చుకోబోతున్నాం.